What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Pinstripe Strong podcast. We got another treat for you. It's a Sunday that we're recording.
Oh, we do.
We do. And we had some interesting moments, and we'll talk about that and more. And we got a special interview for you guys today.
We do.
We're going to talk about that with Slade Heathcott later on. Hey. All right? Hey. Let's go. Pinstripe Strong.
Let's do it.
Drop the beat now. Hey. All right. Welcome to the Pinstripe Strong podcast. It is your boy, Joes McFly. Joined here in studio, my two co-hosts, Chris. And some cool stuff today. Yankees actually played their first spring training game. Let's go. I don't have my soundboard here, so I can't put the sound.
Oh, DeMarco. Next time you got to send me your soundboard.
I got you.
We gotta give it an end
real quick.
We'll do that. So spring training first game. I don't know what stood out to you guys, but it was fun watching baseball again.
Lukey.
Heard John Sterling. Lukey.
It's Licky.
So that was fun today. And then so what stood out to you guys? I don't know, Chris, what stood out to you spring training before?
That lefty, man, Litke, man.
Okay. He looked good.
Yeah, man, he was doing some it's just cool, man. Just seeing everybody is out there. Tyler Wade was saying in the presser that it's like everybody's just vibing. The energy is good. And it felt that way, man. Too.
My man Voigt just wearing V-necks out there. V-neck Yankee jerseys coming to a River Ave
No
soon.
sleeves.
Voigt on the mic, yo. Voigt on the mic with the headset. He cursed, he slipped up, but he brought us good mojo. As soon as they started interviewing him, we started hitting.
He didn't slip up.
Talk, man.
No, that's regular for him, yeah. So Rob Brantley hits the home run.
Nice.
He slipped up, and then Mike Talkman.
Talk your shit, my G. Let's go, man.
From one mic to another, Mike King gave up. My man said, I have my game plan.
Oh, my God.
I scrapped the whole shit, and I don't know why I did that.
Game one, preseason.
Game one, preseason, doesn't matter. Yankees lose 6-4, but it doesn't matter. At least we're out there. Glaber looked good at short, but that's all.
A lot of people taking it. They don't take the spring. The only thing you're supposed to be taking serious in spring training is how the players are looking. Health, obviously, maintaining health. But yeah, man, it was fun.
And how the fans are looking. That was
we
the
have
thing
fans
for me.
in there.
2,500 fans back in Georgia.
Actually, they went over. They went over.
Yeah, I was like, it looks like there's a good amount of fans out there, and you could hear them chanting. You could hear the guys heckling, and you could see a fan just catch a home run ball, and I'm like, baseball needs the fans, and the fans are back.
We're going to have to come out with the video for the people as well on how to behave at a baseball game, because I seen this guy caught a ball, gave it to a kid, he doesn't know, rubbing the kid's head, shaking the guy's hand. I'm like, COVID?
Yeah, man, they bugging.
You're nasty.
They just happy to be back.
Bro, don't
it's
touch
2019
me. My man, he picked up his pants, like he scratches balls. I'm like, yo, homie, what are we doing here?
Picked his nose.
Anyway, so it's good, but it's nice to have baseball back. I love it. I'm excited for it. Probably just as excited. Oh, yeah, guys. Pinstripe Strong, your first time you're listening. Leave us a review. Thank you.
Voicemails.
But voicemails as well. But we are seriously not serious on this podcast. But we dead ass, though.
We dead ass.
Facts. We dead ass, though.
Nah, man.
All right, we dead ass. So I'm hype about this. Interview we had with Slade for you guys to hear it. Loved it.
Slade's the man, man.
Yeah, we got to definitely thank Keith because he got Slade
buddy.
on this pod. But next podcast is probably next Sunday unless some crazy breaking news happens. Knock on wood.
Luis Castillo's right? No, I'm thinking.
No, well, I don't know. Talkman.
We got the package.
On Twitter.
You hitting homers? You might get a trade for Luis Castillo or some shit. And you know what? As a throw-in, Amir Garrett too. All right?
Hey, give us Amir Garrett.
That's not going to happen.
If you think the Yankees are going to go after Amir Garrett, you're definitely
It's too late.
Probably not going to happen.
Hey.
But guys, special episode of Pinstripe Strong podcast. We're recording on Sundays now. Sundays. So appreciate you guys. Any last words before we get into the Slade interview?
Hey, last words.
Just shout out to Slade again for making time for us and coming on and talking some real talk. I hope people really like this episode.
Real talk, man. You guys will see now what it is with the Pinstripe Strong episode, all right? All right, let's go. Come on, Slade. Welcome to the Pinstripe Strong family, all right? Shut Welcome. We're joined today by Slade Heathcott. Let's go. Welcome to the Pinstripe Strong podcast.
Thank you,
We're so
Slade.
excited to have you on. When Keith said he had bro, I got the plug on Slade. I'm like, you got to bring him in, man. Slide through. And I'm so excited to see you, man. So how's everything going with you and how you been, man?
Busy, but busy is a good thing, especially in the last 12, 18 months, right? So, now it's an honor to be on here, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Hopefully we can do a lot more of these.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had the plug because I had the fortune of meeting Slade in passing very quickly in 2019, right before the pandemic hit. We worked in the same building. We worked for the same company. We kind of met in passing, and I was like, not trying to be a fan and be like, yo, that's Slade. Like, I know him. I know who he is. I kind of just said what's up and kept it moving, but we exchanged contacts, and we talked a little bit, and things materialized to come on Pinstripe Strong. Obviously, this is a Yankee pod.
Right,
Obviously, we're Yankee fans. And you have a nice little story in Yankee lore. I threw a clip out of there from the home run, the game-winning home run. You were also drafted in 2009, the last time the Yankees won the World Series. So we got to start off with the Yankee talk.
Yeah.
Tell us that experience being drafted by the Yankees the year they won the World Series and what your journey was like in pinstripes.
Well, first of all, seeing the pinstripes by Joe over there makes me kind of miss it a little bit more. Man, it was I was high school. I had a really interesting upbringing. I was my senior year, I lived out of my truck. And my family, a lot of ups and downs, just like a lot of people in the world. But the one thing that was fortunate is I always had a baseball team, right? I always had a football team, and that was my family. For me, family goes a lot deeper than blood. And blood's great and everything, but from my upbringing, my family is the people that choose to be around me, right? That choose to be that support system. And look, there's no such thing as singular success, right? Like, we can't get where we're going without the people around us. And that's just that's the reality of the nature. And anybody that says otherwise, they're full of it. But man, we were in Waco, Texas practicing. So we were actually entering the state championship game. And we had just finished up with Baylor, just got to Round Rock, Texas, and we're getting in the hotel, got the computer up. We're all doing there. Everybody's in there. We start watching. We probably got there 15 minutes before and started watching, had everybody all in one room. And we get probably 14, 15 picks in, and I get a call. And I kind of like slide out, and it ended up being Damon Oppenheimer. He's like, hey, Slade, and I had actually put in place a deal with the Baltimore Orioles for 4 or 5, 6 picks later for their supplemental first as a pitcher. So I'd actually never planned on being an outfielder because I was 93, 96 off the mound from the left side, just that those numbers, planned on being a pitcher, and I was a 50% ride to LSU for football and 50% for baseball. And I was one of those late bloomers. So It wasn't like my freshman year, I'm going to be a big leaguer. This is what I'm going to do. I had no idea. I was a scrawny runt. I was 5 foot my freshman year. And so we get to Round Rock. We're in there. I get the call. He's like, hey, Slade, this is Damon Oppenheimer again. Just want you to know we're going to take you for your first pick round and our first pick. Yeah. And I'm like, that was when it was I remember probably 2 months prior to that, my agent called me. And that was a whole interesting process in itself as a 17-year-old and really nobody around you to tell you. So picking out an agent was fun, as a whole process. But I remember he told me what we're going to get. And I'm like, you need to leave, bro. You're crazy. I got $4 in my bank account. Come on, dude. Let's go. Be real.
Things get real out there.
Yeah. So, yeah. 10 minutes later, they announce my name. Team goes crazy. The next day, we win state championship. So, Texas State Championship on that. So, at a AAA ballpark. So, I mean, what else can you say? It's one of those moments that we all work for and persevere, and it comes true, and you're like, wow. There's no words to describe that moment. It's kind of like the Trop moment, right? There's nothing to describe that.
Yeah, I mean, that must be just you describing it the way that you were. I mean, I felt like I was the one that got drafted for a second.
Yeah, man, I got chill bumps still, bro. That shit's still real to this day. It's just how it is. It's just, you work and work and work and get there, and you have so many people that give so much time and so much effort to be there and be at the field with you and practice. And it's just those years of experience and to be able to end, right? Like if you're going to get drafted by a team, Pinstripes is kind of a sick team to be drafted by, right? Like, especially like I grew up in Oklahoma. So who's a famous Yankee that's from Oklahoma?
Is it Mick?
From Oklahoma?
No,
Oklahoma. Commerce, Oklahoma to be for sure.
Who was it?
I'm not gonna guess because then I'm gonna sound stupid on the line.
I love this. All right, Commerce. He played in the most expensive real estate in New York.
Was him?
What era? What decade? What years? We going all the way back to 60s, 50s? Or we talking?
So Mickey Mantle.
He said Mickey.
I heard him. I was waiting for him to say it with some confidence.
I didn't want to say it. You know what? I didn't say it with my chest. I'm sorry.
No, it's on wax. It's recorded.
Yeah, I was just making sure. I was with Slade. We talked about this before. I just wanted to make sure you guys are good. You know what I mean?
We got you.
I only know Mickey Rivers. I never heard of Mickey Mantle.
So I grew up 15 miles from where he grew up. So I grew up a huge Mickey Mantle fan, and 61 obviously is one of my favorite movies of all time. Right. And to be drafted by the team that and have a opportunity to play in that position, like, man, I'm super fortunate. I'm super blessed, and that's something that I'll always be thankful for.
Wow, and that's crazy. And it's funny that you said, left-handed pitcher, and I started to think, I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on, 93, 96. From the left side, I'm like, okay, I don't know. Maybe the Yankee seen also something else, and you're probably thinking, hey, you guys know best. But I'm just wondering, now going into your professional career, right? You're finally in your professional career with the Yankees. Mm-hmm. A lot of people just only see the glitz and glamour of what it is to make the major leagues, right? And I always like to drive home this point, because anytime somebody tells me, this X player is lazy, I'm like, do you understand how hard it is to make it to the major leagues? Like, I don't think, even to have a cup of coffee up there, man. And, I wanted to ask you that. That was the first question I wanted to, kind of ask you, like, how tough is it? What's kind of like that grind, mentally and physically of the minor leagues? We can talk about the majors and all that, but I'm just wondering with the minors, how is it going from step to step to step? How is that for you?
Man, I had no idea, right? Like I went through the whole draft process. Mm-hmm. I signed the contract, and really I didn't have a true appreciation for it, honestly, until probably my fourth year of playing. And as y'all know, I had endless injuries, right? Like I had everything off the field, always doing training and things of that nature that I was told to do and things of that nature. But it's different, man. You're playing in high school at 17 years old. And you're playing 2 days a week, maybe 3, right? And you're having practice after school for 2 hours, and you stay after and you do your work. But then you sign, and it's not just 2 days a week now, right? Like you're at the field at 6 a.m., right? Because that's kind of the minor league, especially whether it's rookie ball or right when you get signed. Like you're at the field at 6 a.m. and you're leaving at 6 p.m., right? And you do it every day, and it was awesome. Right? Like I get to wake up every day and go out and chase a white baseball for a living. And like it's a blessing, but it's hard, right?
Yeah.
Fun fact, 80% of minor leaguers in 2019, anybody can guess what they made? 80% of baseball players, minor league level.
Zero?
In 2019 or 2020?
2019.
2020 would have been probably like, besides our grant payments, like even lower. So 80% of minor leaguers made under $8,000 in 2019.
Not enough. Wow. Never enough for a year.
Jesus, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Never enough.
Yeah. So now I was very fortunate, right? I don't get to claim that. I don't get to claim those heartaches. I don't get to claim that because I was not that. I was given a huge signing bonus and I didn't have to deal with that, but I played with guys endless, and everybody comes together and everybody's buying bats for people and gloves. But like, think about it. Hitting is hard nowadays. Like, I know why I'm not playing anymore because I watch guys pitch now and I'm like, no shot, no chance. I came into the game when the average fastball was 90.2. And now it's in 2015, I didn't see a pitch under 95.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's crazy the talent that we have in the game today. But the minor leagues is different. You're on a bus for 16 hours. Even at the AAA level, right? I was in 2016. I'm going overnight to play a noon game for a playoff, right? So you're traveling and you might only get a Burger King to eat from. Like, that's your only option.
That's crazy.
So it's those things that where it's a 12-hour day deal. You're at the field. That's what most people don't understand. You wake up and you get to the field by noon. You work out. You have early work at 1:00. You have early work in the cages at 2:00. You have stretch at 3:15. You're on the field until 5. You come in, you eat, and you get a game ready for 7:00 game, and you leave the field at midnight or 11:00. That's what you do. 7 days. And in 2010, 2011, we'd go on stints that are 50 games without a day off. Right. So it's just a lot different. And when you talk about equipment and things, and we can get in that. I'm so y'all about the minor leagues, and y'all just cut me off. But it's just you have guys out there that wood bat. That's the theory, right? Most people think, oh, you're a professional athlete, you're not paying for equipment. Half of major leaguers are paying for their own equipment right now.
Yeah.
Right. So now you have guys that are breaking a wood bat. That's $100. They broke 2 bats. That's 50% of their paycheck. Jeez. There's a reality of how to try to succeed as a minor leaguer.
Tools of the trade.
Well, I'm looking at the picture different, bro. I'm like, yo,
don't cutters.
I can't afford another bat after this. Easy.
That's what I said. I don't know how many times in my career I had guys that were like, I can't swing at an inside pitch because if I swing at an inside pitch and break my bat, I'm going home. And that's the reality of minor leagues. And I didn't have to deal with that. I tried my best to help, and obviously that's where More Than Baseball came from. But it's tough, man. It's different. It's a blessing. It's never not that, right? Like, fans are like, oh, you're sad. No, like, it's a blessing, but it's also, we've got to make sure that we're so much money spent on prospects and everything, right? We've got to get them the tools they need to succeed.
Indeed. I fully agree with you. It's crazy. You're speaking that, and I remember, me being really young, and I finally, my uncle was drafted by the Angels, and I finally got a chance to go out there to go see him in the like Double-A in Cedar Rapids. I don't remember, in Iowa, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh man, the major. I'm thinking this guy, the pro players. I got in there, and it was different. It was just like a total shock to me when I seen him, and then he was bunking with like 3 other players, and it was like, it's like normal. Right. It's kind of like, yo, man, we're just trying to like make it here. Like, the refrigerator had nothing in it because they don't know, and it was a grind. He started to tell me, like, he talked to me about. He's like, yeah, man, we're all trying to get up there because we don't make enough. We really don't, and I always think about that, like. The players and minor league players never getting paid enough, especially for people that end up making a career of what the minor leagues are. And there's people that they just want to get to the majors. Everybody wants to get there, of course, but it just feels like, of course, these people are underpaid. It's just you're expected to train like a major leaguer, but you're not getting paid anywhere near it, and it's rough. It's a rough grind, especially.
And then you go into the day-to-day grind, right? Like, name a profession out there besides maybe meteorology and on TV of trying to guess weather. Like, name another field where 3 out of 10 you're the best of the best success rate. Like, that's hard, right? Like, that's the biggest side of this is like baseball's mental. Baseball is mental because it's I don't know how many times I walked out on the field and how ridiculous it sounds, but like, you get in the batter box for BP and you're like, I feel like I've never played this game. And that's truly what happens, right? And you've played this game for 20 years and you're out on the field and you're like, I don't know what happened. Yesterday it was a beach ball. Now it's a BB. And it's just like, there's so many challenges on the mental side and that's why so many guys get out of the game, and like, you've learned how to fail. And that's a powerful thing, right? Like, that's a powerful thing to learn how to fail and stand back up, because everybody on this call knows that plans don't go according to nature, right? Like, you can plan, and like, I didn't plan on having 7 surgeries in my career, but what are you going to do about it? You're going to stand back up, or you can sit down and mope. And baseball players have that tenacity and that fortitude to just stand back up, and they fail in front of people, right? It's not just like you're failing and people don't hear about it. You're failing in front of thousands or 20,000 or 100,000 people because of social media and the way it is now. So that just builds that grit in minor leagues. That is really like, if we could just talk about that, right? Like that's what we talk about with more than baseball, is like the everyday fan has this reality that minor leaguers are millionaires, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And now that puts the fan here and minor leaguers here. Right. And from a marketing side, no, guys, like that's our goal, is like everyday fan and a minor leaguer, y'all share the same thing. We're battling. We're trying to do it. And it's not that SPCA 2 a.m. commercial of feel bad for you. No, it's respect it, right? Love the game, because these guys are fighting every day and they don't complain. They're out there trying to do what they give, and it's entertainment for the fans. We can't do anything without fans. This game is nothing without guys and women and moms and dads and kids loving the game that we all love and talk about right now.
Yeah, the fans are the future of the game, and so are the minor leaguers. And you mentioned more than baseball, so we got to talk about more than baseball. And, I mean, there's a few things that we could ask to get there, but let's go back a little bit. So, we talked about getting drafted by the Yankees and being with the Yankees organization, but let's talk about what happened in your career when you went on to Oakland that kind of got you on the path that you're on now. So, like, share some of your experience in Oakland in their minor league system as a player that kind of set you on the pathway to get with more than baseball and also Players for the Planet and some of the other things that you're doing.
Yeah. I actually got to go back further. This is one of those moments I got goosebumps. It goes way before Oakland. And I want to, every person that's ever been a bleacher creature, I want them to know that more than baseball was thought of because of them. The reason was, I was told November 22nd, 2014 by Dr. Jay Mandrew, one of the leading sports surgeons in the world, that I was done playing the game. And I refused to believe it. I was like, nobody can tell me I was just stubborn enough that nobody can tell me what is right, what is wrong, and what I can do. In 2015, I don't even acknowledge this. I don't care what people say. I did not go into that ninth inning and pinch run for Teixeira on whatever it was that day that was. I debuted 2 days later in center field at Yankee Stadium. That will always be my debut.
Amazing.
Yeah.
CC Sabathia was on the mound, and we know where the roll call starts, right? And I'm sitting out there in center field, and now I hear it. Slade Heathcott.
Slade Heathcott.
I still get emotional to this day because of that. That's why more than baseball is where it's at, because that was the moment in my life that I realized that every person that has spent their entire life doing this game, dreaming of this game, deserves to have that moment. That's what the bleacher creature, that is where more than baseball was born. And it didn't come to fruition until the Oakland athletic system and the whole American Pastime Act. So I'm in spring training of that, and in 2018, and everybody here, the America's Pastime Act, right? And it gets passed. And what rubbed me so wrong about it was one simple thing. It wasn't the pay. It wasn't the lifestyle. It wasn't that. It was that they took a professional baseball player that was in the top 1% of their field, and they turned them into seasonal interns. There are seasonal apprenticeships. That is the moment that got me, that I'm like, you know what? I can't wait any longer, because my goal was, I'm going to get back to the big leagues. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do something. In 2018, it got to the point when I heard that it was that seasonal internship, right? Like, how can you disrespect somebody that has given so much to something that they care about, whether it's a game or not? It's a profession, and it's $1 billion industry. Yep. How can you do that, right? So I stood up and said it. I got warned. I said something again May 19th. I said something else. I got warned. I just said something. Whatever I said, I'll just let you know, May 20th, I was on a flight home. All right. And I did not get one call, not one call from one team, period. I knew it was my time to go. I knew it was. I was in a lot of pain. I have a son that was in Tampa, and just many things, right? Many things led to this. It was my time to go regardless. Now I watch the game and I'm like, just what I said earlier. I do not belong in this game. These guys are way too good. They're way too fast. They're hitting the ball way too far. But that was it, right? Like that moment of calling a minor leaguer that never complains, that goes out every single day and just battles their butts off, right? Battles through injuries and things of that nature, that I wanted to stand up and say something. And I initially wanted, all right, well, we're just going to go unionize. Let's go get everybody going. And I quickly learned what happened. You're going to get released, you're going to get blacklisted, and you're going to be out of the game. And I realized when I was backpacking, when I got retired, I went backpacking and was out thinking, I'm like, why did I stand up? Because what happened was I let my ego get involved, right? I made it about me. I didn't stand up because of me. It didn't affect me whatsoever. I was a minor league free agent. But what I did stand up was because of everybody else that it affected. And I realized this isn't about me. Why don't we go about it in a way that we can bring baseball together? Let's bring baseball together, because that's what we have to do. If we can't bring the crowds together, where's our game going to be 10 years from now or 15 years from now? So that was my goal, right? Like, I want to take, and I want to partner with MLB. I want to partner with MLB PA. I want to partner with minor league baseball. And I want to show what happens when we all come together and we look at minor leagues as a way of player development instead of what is right and wrong. How can we make players better? Because that's the one thing teams care about. That's the one thing fans care about. And that's the one thing players care about. So how can we go about a way to build the game within and bring people closer together? We have so much division in the world, right? Period. Right. We have black and we have white and we have purple and we have Jewish and we have Christian. Why can't we just be people that love the game of baseball? We all have something that we can build a trust and center stone around, and that's the game of baseball. It's America's pastime for a reason. That's what we wanted to use. I wanted to leverage us. We love this game. Let's tell people about it.
Right.
Sorry, I get passionate, guys.
No, that was great.
Listen, you're so right, bro. I feel like I've said that so many times. Like, you can't call these guys interns when they have to literally work on their craft all year long. Like that stuff really struck.
Now with I'm like getting goosebumps. I'm excited listening to you talk about all this stuff. And the situation with Seattle, right? With Kevin Mathers, I'm pretty sure you heard about that. And the way that he was talking about the minor league players and the prospects. You listening to this interview, him talking about the players like this, especially top prospects, how they're gonna keep him down no matter what they do. Like talk about stars aligning. You here on our pod and everything, and this thing came out. Like, how do you feel about that? How passionate you are about the minor league players and listening to somebody. The president of the Seattle Mariners.
How old president now?
Yeah, get him up out of there.
Yeah, like how where's your what are your thoughts on that?
Man, everything that I do stems from the fact it's even more than just minor leagues, right?
Right.
Bottom line is, how do we create as much wins as possible, right? Every fan, every team wants W's. That's what it boils down to, right? So when I look at it, and I'll be on it, like, I work with all 30 teams now, right? There is a huge movement. There is a huge understanding around the minor leagues. Things are way different, and they're going to continue to be different. And we are headed down the right path, right? We're going to keep heading down that path. My goal was, how can we help players right now? Because long-term, we're moving there. So, yeah, I mean, it's great to see that, right? I've seen it in the past 18 months, really, and really in the past year, of players, especially at the big league level, realize, like, for the first time, really players standing up and saying, you know what? Yeah, I might have had to deal with it, but some other people shouldn't have to, right? And we realize, and that is tricky, because in all reality, the better you make minor leaguers, the harder it is for that big leaguer to keep his job, right? That's just the reality of it. Exactly. We cut through all of it. If you make minor leaguers better, it's going to be harder for guys to keep their job. And we're moving in an interesting way, right? Like, we look at free agent market this year, where we've had, I think, over 80 one-year deals this year. Right. And it's really interesting to see. And obviously we have CPA, and there's a lot of things going on. And luckily, I am now partnered with MLB, and I'm partnered with MLB PA, right? I hear both sides of it, right? So I see what is going on. And it's just like, it's that same thing. It's just that push and pull. And you hear the commissioner get on TV and talk about, I saw a post from MLB. It was 4 highest paid players. And what does that tell the everyday fan, right? Well, guess what? Yeah, there's 10 people in baseball that are making $300 million contracts. But guess what? The 97% of the rest of the baseball isn't. And yes, it's a great lifestyle, right? Like, you're making $500,000 to play a game. But when you're in New York, Aaron Judge, right? How much profit was he bringing to the league? And he was making 530, 542, $557,000 when he's making the league hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So there's a push and pull, and there's this deal, and that's going to be a continuous battle, right? Like that's where the union's at. But I just see from all sides, and my objective is look at it. Let's just bring it together. Let's figure out ways. Right. And that's why I'm in the philanthropic space so much, because it's the one area that I can cut through all profit and revenue and say, no, what can we do together to create a larger impact? Because that's what matters, because we need to be reaching kids, right? We need to be impacting these kids that are watching people on TV. Because you said earlier, Joe, when we were talking, like you got to Double A and you're like, ooh, professional baseball players, right? Like, yeah, it's really cool for a 12-year-old to get to hang out or see Jacob deGrom or Pete Alonso or whatever. But guess what? It's also really cool for those 12-year-olds to hang out with that Double A baseball player. That's the power of the minor leagues, right? How expensive is it to go to a big league game nowadays? But guess what? You can go for an entire family and have an awesome time and have kids events and things around the minor league system that is super powerful, and it costs you $40 the entire day. You can't get 2 beers at $40. And I'm telling you right now, I want a beer.
No shot in Yankee Stadium. Right. That's not happening.
Can't get the bucket. No, this is amazing, man.
Yeah, no, it is, and I'm glad that you're doing, what you're doing now, and tell us a little bit about, and I know you've been hinting at it little by little. Let's just find out, because I feel like me and you are gonna vibe with this for sure.
The shirt.
Yes.
Dope shirt you got.
Yeah, go ahead. It's a dope shirt. Let us know a little bit about it, bro.
Hey, these gamers.
Gang. Let us know a little bit about that. How you got started with that.
MTB Gaming.
What you're doing with that now?
All right, so More Than Baseball, we got our 501c3 in end of October of 2019. Filed out the beginning of 2019. We filled out for the way that we look. I don't want to say I or we. If I say I'm going to let you know there's nothing I've ever done in my life that hadn't had a ton of people helping me. So whatever I've done has been a team. So we get our 501c at the end of 2019. The objective was, look, we're going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep, because what I see is, Major League is awesome, but now you have 30 markets. Well, guess what? There's a lot more cities in the country than 30 markets. So now you have the minor leagues that at the time was 160 markets, right? Now it's 120 markets. And I saw a way, I just kept saying, like, there's a way to use minor leagues, and there's a way for players to look at themselves. The more I can get players to convince and look at themselves as a brand, and that is what you are. You are an individual brand as a baseball player, as any day person now, right? Like with the power of social media and everything, you're a brand. And the more we can look at ourselves as a brand, and the more we can look at ourselves as an individual business, which is what we are to every major league owner, the more we can understand, right? So my goal was to bring everybody together. And it started, and we were getting going, COVID hit. And in 3 days, we put together the MTB Player Grant Program, which wasn't our initial grant, right? Our initial program. I didn't want to just give money out, right? Like I wanted to do a lot more than that. But we got this deal in 3 days. We put the the MTB Player Grant Program. As of 2 weeks ago, we just sent out our 1600th check. And last year we raised $1.2 million from minor leaguers. Beautiful. And we did it in a lot of different ways. So I appreciate it. Like it's been a lot of hard work. It's doing it. And we are now at 3,000 players that we've worked with in some way, shape, or form. We have a financial guidance program. We have a financial education and literacy program that we had almost 1,000 players start and complete. We have career transitioning programs, right? My goal, and I have Simon Rosenbaum Larson, current minor leaguer with the Tampa Bay Rays. That is director of programming. I have Jeremy Wolf, who was a minor leaguer with the Mets organization, as director of outreach, and I am director of operations. We do not operate like most nonprofits where you have an executive director. We felt like there was a way that we could three-way head this and be able to make this happen. And yes, I make overall decisions, and I can be overruled, right? I can be overruled at any time, and that's how it should be set up. There should be a checks and balance in everything we do.
Yes.
So as we started looking at it, and as I started growing this, I said, what's the best way that we can make players money? That's my objective, right? Is to make players money. I want to impact lives, no question. That's no brainer. I'm a nonprofit, right? And I wanted to figure out a way to impact lives. And as we know, and Joe, you have a little bit more in this, the streaming space
Yes.
So as we started getting this, we had 3,000 players fill out for this player grant program. In that, we now know what players do in the off season, right? We put in 3 days, we put together 20 plus points. Do you pay for your cell phone bill, car bill? Do you live at home? What is your financial situation? Do you have investments? Do you have savings? What are your interests? Do you have interest in anything else, right? So we have a really good idea for the first time ever, because we can assume all we want, right? I can assume what the minor leaguer in Des Moines, Iowa wants, right? But without having some data, we don't know. So the grant program gave us that data, right? And now we know that there's 30% of minor leaguers gaming. All right. Mm-hmm. So then my thought was, player X in Richmond, Virginia, they have 5,000 fans in the stadium. It may not be every player, right? But I can't put together programs that are going to be every player. We're talking about 4,000 players that all have different backgrounds. So we have to run in a myriad of programs. So the gaming came from, we have 30% of players, right, that are doing this. How many people around the country will pay $5 or $10 or $15 to game with their favorite minor leaguer? And guess what? That's a tax donation to them, but it also is $15 to that minor leaguer. $15 is a big deal, right?
It is.
If they can do that twice a day and they can do that 7 days a week, that's 25% of their paycheck, right? And they're already doing it. And it's also a way that why is the streaming and gaming space blowing up, right? Why does Budweiser put $250 million into having their name on a stadium? It's because 40,000 fans show up X amount of days, right? Now we live in a world. I don't know if y'all saw the Pokemon break last night with Logan Paul. He had 250,000 people watching live.
You got a Charizard.
2 of them.
You got 2 of them?
He got
Pulled 2 of them. They pulled $2 million worth of cards last night.
Wow, that's crazy.
All right. And now we have minor leaguers that love Pokemon, right? We're doing a huge box break in Dallas in 2 weeks. We just bought a 1999 sealed vintage base booster box, right? The whole idea is I want to create an incubator model. I want to take minor league businesses and take their interest while they're playing and show there's a way for you to join revenue. Not only that, we have to stop just looking at the baseball crowd. Why are we not doing events with NFL players? Why are we not doing events with collectors? Why are we, right? We have to start cross-breeding a fan base. That's what the digital streaming space. So we worked our butts off. We got to a point where we brought on our partner Double Plus Gaming, and we have been building out our Twitch channel. We've been building out minor leaguers to host certain days and certain schedules because we have Call of Duty people. We have Leagues of Legend. We have collectors. We have this, right? And it all stemmed really from the MTB Kicks program, which I don't know if y'all saw Aaron Hicks and Tyler Wade both participated in our MTB Kicks program this year. Aaron Hicks's were awesome, right? They were a Negro League tribute that looked like an old leather glove. And the idea was that same thing. Let's take it. This year I had to auction because I had to convince my board that I wasn't crazy, that I wanted to spend $14,000 on cleats, right? For this program that nobody, and out of the whim, we wrote the commissioner's office, and Stadium Custom Kicks, which is our partner, is a current minor leaguer, right? So it's a perfect storytelling moment, right? We get a minor leaguer that we get to bring attention to his business, but not only that, we get to allow players to have a voice on the field in a way they've never been able to do it, right? All around a philanthropic reason. So whether it's Be the Match with Joe Musgroves or Aaron Hicks, right? Like we had 70% of players choose More Than Baseball as their source, but there was other leagues that we did. We partnered with the Players Alliance to bring them funds, right? In this program. The idea was we wrote the commissioner out of a whim. An hour later, we get a letter back. I have no idea why. Right?
A letter?
We get a letter back that says you have permission that any MLB player on any day, as long as set X rules are met, common things, right? No for-profit, no derogatory terms, blah, blah, things we wouldn't do. You have permission for any year, any day for players to wear MTB Kicks. No idea why they gave it to us, but when they did, we ran
when they do the right thing. It's crazy when they easily do the right thing because they make everything else so hard.
Oh man, and it's an awesome way, right? It's all for so we had Jacob deGrom's cleats, Tom Seaver tribute. They sold for $8,000. That was a small term picture, right? I don't want how many people can pay $8,000 for a pair of cleats? Very few. That's not my goal here, right? My goal is I'm a nonprofit. I want to make money. I have to raise money. That's my job.
Right.
My purpose of MTBX wasn't necessarily that. The purpose was how many fans now in the country will pay $5, for a chance to win those cleats, right? And now we see the collectibles space, and we see Mike Trout's card sell for $3.7 million. Why? So these cleats are game worn, authenticated on the spot, and put on MLB, right? So we have game worn, authenticated, custom one-of-one cleats that now how many people will pay for a chance to win those cleats? Now we're going to start putting kids' names on the cleats, right? And creating college scholarships and paying for medical bills and doing this, right? Like,
I love that.
Why not use a simple thing like that? And we look at the digital space of all this clothing and lifestyle streaming that's blowing up. Let's use it. Let's use it to create an impact. How simple is it for a guy to put on a pair of cleats, wear them, and do it, right? And we're having an impact of that. So that is what we've been growing out in the gaming space. Same thing. I wanted to find a way to reach the average age of an MLB fan is 55 years old. We have to get a younger fan base.
Gotta get younger.
We have to. And guess where they're at?
Twitch, online.
They're on Twitch, bro.
Yeah. On their iPads.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love the whole, your whole passion, your whole drive to trying to put, not only, taking care of players, but also helping them build their brand and helping put money in their pockets, man. Like, and I play with some minor leaguers as well on Twitch, and they just started streaming this year. I guess the pandemic brought that out of a lot of people. You see Glaber streaming.
Yep.
You see Severino streaming. We did like a Warzone tournament, Tommy Canely. But even minor leaguers are doing it as well. Like I play with one. His name is Sean Semple.
Okay.
And he's a minor leaguer with the Yankees, and he plays, bro. And he says he does it because it's an easier way to also connect with the fans as well. Because it just feels, and we talked about it with Sevi too in our last interview, where players or sometimes professional players or people that you just read about, sometimes it seems like so unattainable. But on Twitch or some of these other platforms, you feel like you're right there. You talk to them, they respond.
Like you're hanging out.
Yeah, like you're hanging out, or you guys could play together. You could do stuff like that for subs. I just love all that, man. That's just awesome.
Couldn't agree more. That's exactly it, right? You have a fan base that's able to touch and contact these people every day, right? They're streamers. And we have to start looking at baseball players, right? They don't carry enough weight to really move the needle on a lot. But guess what? Those baseball players are friends with the ninjas and the streamers, right? If we can start taking those big time streamers and we start partnering them with big leaguers and partnering big leaguers in that group with minor leaguers, right? That will make it may anybody have an idea what Trevor May? So Trevor May is probably the largest gamer in baseball. He made nearly $1 million off the field in gaming.
Amazing.
That's
crazy, yo.
I mean, that's crazy.
Current Met, yeah.
He's going to be on the Chris Rose rotation. He's Chris Rose's first guest. Trevor May, plug.
Yeah.
What it seems like with baseball, it seems like us fans on a podcast and even what you're doing, it's like we're trying to fix everything on the outside before the inside fixes it. And Joe's was just talking about Clint Frazier's bat. Maybe you can write a letter. If you got the letter through for the cleats, maybe you can write a letter so that they can do the same thing for the bats and let these guys have custom bats to express themselves and get a message across, because that is what the young kids want to see. They want to see that style, that flair.
That cool.
That fashion and just like these guys being themselves. I know baseball is extremely buttoned up and, nobody is supposed to be an individual. It's supposed to be a team game. But if we want to move forward, the fans want to see it. We've got organizations like More Than Baseball that want to see it. Write that letter so we can get some cool bats this year.
Well,
that would be awesome.
I can't tell you names yet because we don't know who's going to make it, but you should probably tune into the All-Star game this year.
I'm trying to go. I'll probably be in Atlanta for that.
Okay. Dropping something out there.
We're working on it. We're already there.
I like
Home run derby, custom bats, matching cleats.
Yeah.
We're there. We're working on it. So I'll give MLB is loosening, right? They're definitely, whether they want to, whatever the reason is, bottom line is they are opening up, right? They're allowing people to express more opinion. So I agree. We're working on it. We're definitely our plan is to have some home run derby contestants with custom bats this year. And why not have that bat, right? Maybe they win the world. What is a bat worth that's custom and wins the home run derby? Right. And it's a raffle, right? So an everyday fan gets a chance. Why not just take those proceeds and let's put a kid through college? How simple is that, right? How simple is that, right? We complicate things so much. We look at the corporate space, we look at everybody, right? We're always like, well, what's the long term? Yeah, we have to have a long term vision. But guess what? We can put a bat in a player's hands. We can do a home run derby, and we can put a kid that is in an underserved community through college or a trade school, or maybe it's his parents that he's going through chemo, right? How simple is that? We don't have to overcomplicate things. The opportunities are right here in front of us to be really cool, right? Like super sick. Why not just have regular bats? I would love to have had a custom design bat, and I understand that we can't do it in games, right? Like that's not going to get done probably because there's just so many different things, and we'll get there with bet sampling and testing. But like those are perfect moments. All-Star game. Why not? Right? There's just so many contact points like that are so easy to do that could make a difference because guess what? Sometimes for kids, it's just the opportunity. That's all they need. They need the opportunity.
I agree.
Slade, you're the man, bro. Tell people where they can find out more about More Than Baseball and everything that you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. And I'm not the man. We are. Everybody loves this game is the reason we're able to have these conversations. Morethanbaseball.org. You can reach out to morethanbaseball_org on Twitter, social media. Our Twitch channel is More Than Baseball. Tune in. We're still playing. We've had several fans now pairing with minor leaguers and slowly getting it going. We're not there yet, right? Like we're not there, the big thing. But like, Joe, on Twitch or anybody that's familiar with that, how hard is it to find an athlete on Twitch? You can't just search athlete, right?
Yeah, it's difficult. Like Twitch doesn't make. I mean, they need to better their platform. They really do. They need to make it better to find.
Yeah, I'm like Joe's.
I gotta like promo
right? So, like,
on a bigger program to do it, like a bigger platform to do it.
Yeah, the idea is More Than Baseball is not the center of attention. It's not. It's the highlighter. All we're doing is wanting to show fans where they can find their favorite players. That's the goal, right? Like it's not about More Than Baseball. It's about Severino. It's about Gray Fenter that's on the 40-man, just got out of the minor leagues, right? It's like the Brett Phillips that are in the gaming space, right? Like it's about these guys and just showing that if you want to find them, come to More Than Baseball. If you want to play with a player, reach out to More Than Baseball. We're going to do everything we possibly can to get you playing with your favorite player.
Nice. Do you game as well?
Look, well, I got my Elgato now, so that tells you something.
I've seen that.
I'm not good, but yes, I have been.
I'm not good either.
Gaming, and I've been play a little bit with Brett and some other guys, things of that nature. So yeah, I'm definitely gaming now. I'm probably playing 2-3 times a week, and
nice.
Right, like I have an everyday job, big boy job that I have to have. So like, when I'm up, I have most of my nonprofit work and everything is after hours and staying up. But yeah, I'm now almost 2 solid days a week now, and I hope to get to 3 or 4 and just be that. I mean, I had a school teacher join me to play the other day. That was from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Doesn't mean anything in the world to most people, but for me, like if a fan gets to jump on it and it makes their day,
exactly.
Right? Like that's all it's about. The fans are allowing us to do what we want to do. Let's give them something that they want to do, right? More so than just playing.
Now, Slade, I also, aside from, what you do with More Than Baseball, I really love what you're doing with Players for the Planet. That was in Dominican Republic.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, man. And I saw, you're cleaning up the beaches and everything like that. You're bringing other Dominican players like Nelson Cruz, what was the Rosario? I met Rosario also. Yeah. And I'm looking through the pictures. I'm not trying to creep or anything like that, but I'm looking.
Research.
Yeah, research purposes, right? I'm looking through the pic, and then I see that you tagged La Romana, and La Romana is where my mother's from.
Nice.
And it just made me love it even more and what you're doing, because that's basically, once, I'm.
It's our backyard, bro.
Right, it's our backyard, and it's something that's really that hits close to home because it's my mother's hometown, it's my father, my family, and the work that you're doing there, it's amazing. If you could talk about that as well.
Oh man, the Dominican. I've been to the Dominican now 24 times. I went
more than me, actually.
I've been zero times.
It's sad to say, but more than me.
You have, if you love the game of baseball, you have to experience what the culture of the Dominican Republic is. You have to. And I'm telling you, if you want, come to our beach clean. But as soon as we get out of this, we're going to be, SC Johnson just funded, we're going to have every academy. So the one thing that I love, I went in 2009, my very first trip to the Dominican Republic. And I've now been back multiple times. I now have driven all the way across the island, throwing free clinics, and that's just so cool. I went last year, to skip forward and I'll go back. I went 2 years ago now. I always forget with COVID. And so 2 years ago I went, right? And my idea was I'm gonna drive around the island, shoot footage for everything we're doing. But guess what? I'm also gonna find ways to throw 4, 5, 6 clinics. I'm gonna bring a bunch of gear. I'm gonna bring bats and baseballs. And everything, right?
Yes.
You want to know how I made my decision to what location I was gonna do camps at? I would drive, and as I was driving, when I saw somebody on a moped with a backpack and 2 bats, I followed them.
Yeah, right away. Those are the ones you follow. Yep. They going.
Where's the field? Where they going?
They're just where they're going, because guess what? You're gonna pull into this area that's nothing else, and now it's a baseball field, and you're gonna have 100 kids out there. And guess what?
Right.
They are so much more talented than American players. It's unbelievable.
Bro, those kids are born with
dude, I love the Dominican Republic, and last year was the first year I haven't been, and I'm missing it so much. I was just talking. So, Players for the Planet, I got out of the game in 2019. I was on LinkedIn for the very first day. Literally the very first day I'm on LinkedIn. I'm like, all right, I'm an entrepreneur. Let's do this. And I run across Chris Dickerson's page. And I crossed so I crossed paths with him in 2019. We knew a little bit. I reached out to him. I was like, dude, like, I went backpacking in 2014 for the first time, and I realized everything around us is an absolute miracle. Like, as cheesy as that sounds, like trees and flowers and life, and just, if you can just stop and just look at it, blew my mind, right? So I found a new love for the outdoors. And guess what? We only have one home, boys, and we're destroying it. That's not, I don't care whether you believe or global warming. I don't care, right? They did a study last year. They did 161 sea turtles around the world. And guess what? Every single one of them had 21 different types of microplastic in their stomach. A German institute in 2018 did a study on 1,500 kids in Germany. Every single one of them had microplastics in their gut. It's not if, it's when, right? And so we started looking at this deal, and I told Chris, I was like, Chris was focusing on it, right? Like, and we're looking, and then the parlay video came out, right? Like this video of just plastic and plastic and plastic. And in 2014, I was walking across a beach near Boca Chica, and I'm walking, right? And that was also the moment that that same time period where I found out that I was going to have my son. Right. And that was a big stepping stone for me. Like, my life was about Slade Heathcott, and I was a S show. I just was, right. When I signed, I came from a small town that always partied, and I just did the exact same thing. Right. But every time I had a surgery, I stepped away. But I'm walking across this beach, and there's these kids, and there's 2-year-olds all the way to 18-year-olds, and they're running and they're playing, and there's debris and stuff. And I'm walking through, and there's open syringes in the beaches, right? And there's these kids running around. I'm like, something has to change. Fast forward 4 years later, I get the opportunity to put together the country level plan with Chris Dickerson to do exactly that. The other thing that's really unique about the Dominican Republic that no other country can share is the impact of what baseball carries. It's not about the beach cleanups, right? Like, we can clean a beach all we want. We had 360 million tons of new plastic created last year, right? We can't clean enough. So beach cleanups is the small picture, right? We have to start recycling that. We have to start reusing that plastic. But guess what? We have a country of 10 million people that their GDP and their economy thrives and depends on tourism. And if these beaches keep doing this, 10 years from now, the Dominican Republic will not be the Dominican Republic, right? It's a lot more than just a beach cleanup. So what's the one tool, Chris, in the Dominican Republic that kids will listen to? They're going to listen to Ahmed Rosario. They're going to listen to Nelson Cruz. And guess what? Now it's cool, right? We found a way to use the culture and use it as an education point that it is super cool now because Nelson Cruz is out there. And I commend these guys, right? Like, we have had so many Dominican players that are passionate about this and step up, and we can't do anything without them.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a whole nother level. I love that you're doing that. You know, I was even speaking, we were speaking with Severino last week about what his foundation is trying to do and give back
for
schools and supplies and trying to help the kids back in DR. And they do listen to baseball players a lot. It's just a big influence over there. So I'm really excited about you doing that because you're right. I mean, when you get to DR, you just know. Like when I went out there to go play, I guess that's what I was doing. I went out there. Like the first week, I knew why I was like, I'm not going to be a pro player. I just knew this. The first kid I'm looking at, I sit in the box and I hear, kid has no control. He's like 16. I hear the scout behind us saying, 96. I'm like, I'm out. I can't see it. I can't see this, bro. It's over. So it was, it's really nice to hear you say that, man. But I just love, like, your passion is infectious.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you had the same tenacity that you showed us on the field, bro. I remember me and my boy Chris, we'll be like, yo, Slade's out there, bro. He's sliding, bro.
You're a bull, man.
Yeah, you're a bull out there, diving after these balls, just playing with this. I don't know if anger is the right word, but like tenacity.
Yeah. Tenacity.
And,
grit. Grit's a good word.
Grit. I like grit. I like grit a lot better, and it just feels like you're taking that into your next phase, your life after baseball, which is freaking awesome,
amazing,
man.
My whole, and I got reamed my entire career about playing too hard. But you know what? Anybody that wants to say that, fine, I understand. And yes, maybe if I'd have backed up or backed off or whatever. But you know what? I looked at it this way. How many single mothers are out there fighting and fighting and fighting to just make ends on the table? How many people, the bleacher creatures out there, are paying, right, to be in that stadium, to watch me be there? I can't control whether I hit a double. I can work my butt off and I can try doing that. I can't control whether I'm going to get a curveball or a fastball. But the one thing I can control is respect the game and to respect all the people out there that gave up everything to me to be where I was in that center field, and for all the fans out there that are paying their wages and all these things to be at a game that they love to watch. I could never not give everything I have. I'm not anybody, as you can tell, I call myself passionately obsessive. That's just my positive stream on extremist. I'm just not a half-hearted guy. I want, when I'm going to do something, I want to do it, and I want to do it because I care.
Awesome.
Slay, I got to tell you, man, and I'm glad that we have this opportunity to speak with you because River Ave Blues was a website that helped me, myself and Joe, keep up with the minor leagues. Right, there's not a lot of websites that you could go and read the stats of what's going on.
Right.
And your name always stood out to me, Slade Heathcott. 3 for 4, whatever it was, and I'm like, I'm telling you, man, Slade Heathcott, that name is gonna, So when you came up, I was very excited, and then obviously, that home run, that walk off, and how you got when you got to the dugout and you was, bum rushing people, and that got me so hyped. And I wanted it. I wanted that moment so much for you because I'm a huge fan, obviously, since you was in the minors, and to be able to talk to you now and what you're doing, it's amazing. Just being here right now and this.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you.
I appreciate you
One more
guys.
time, Slade Heathcott, right?
Slade,
Yeah.
man.
Slade.
No.
Played hard. He's still working hard.
Let's go.
It's
That's awesome.
It's for all of us. It's for everybody. It takes all of us, right?
Nice.
I have that saying, that little like my own yogiism. If you get to your summit and you're alone, you're in a mirage in the middle of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's it.
Nobody does anything great alone.
Yogi.
Yeah. Hey, you want to hear a yogi story? I'll give you a quick one. I know I'm long with it, guys.
Yeah, this is a Yankee podcast.
Yogi story.
I got a yogi story. So, sign, right? A month later, I get this call, right? And it was a month and a half, somewhere around there, but shortly after. And I get this call. And it's like this, like, kind of low, like, voice, whatever. He's like, I wish I could mimic it, but is this Slade? It's like, yes, sir. And he goes, you want to come to New York? And I'm like, who in the heck is calling me? He's like, do you know who this is? And I'm like, I have no clue. I'm sorry. He goes, this is Yogi Berra. do you want to come to New York and hang out with team for a couple of days? I was like, sign me up. Where are we going? Where are we going? So that was cool. And I got to hang out with him for the day and things of that nature. So really cool guy. And obviously we know what his impact on the game was. And I mean, look at him. He served in D-Day, right? Like incredible. And that's just something I don't agree with war. That's not something I support, but I do support our soldiers because I wouldn't be able to be on the field if it wasn't for them. So it's something that's key. I mean, you can look at my arm and tattoo and chest, everything. It's another reason why I played hard and those moments just to get back. So it's definitely nothing I'm doing. I'm just trying to push everybody. I'm trying to go and I love it. I selfishly do it. I truly do. I do everything for me, and I love seeing kids smile when they get to hang out with a kid, right? I did an event in Vegas 2 weeks ago, and we had Chris Bryant and all these different guys, Amir Garrett, and the kid was a college baseball player. And he got diagnosed in 2019 with T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. And I picked him up, right? I had a minor leaguer started a car company. We got a Bentley Phantom. I went and picked the kid up. I've seen the video. Yeah. Video, man. And, I'm in the car, and man, it was one of those times like, and I'm a very emotional person, period. Like I love what I do. I love being able to give and help and everything. And I'm in the car, and and I was like, so what is your plan? He goes, I'm going to play baseball. And I'm like, all right, when are you going to play? Yeah. He said, I'm going to be playing in 6 months. That's what that day was about. It was about keeping hope alive. My man, Tim Lane Fitness in LA or in Las Vegas. His motto is keeping hope alive. And that's what we got to do. Let's just keep hope alive. And for that kid, nobody can tell somebody what they can do. I know better than that than anybody. So I really, those moments are cool, right? Like those are the moments we get to use baseball and make an impact doing so.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining us today, man. We really appreciate you. Appreciate the whole conversation. It was awesome. Love the way we flowed. Appreciate you coming on the Pinstripe Strong podcast, man.
No, I thank you guys. Sorry for being so long-winded.
No, you good. You good.
We gotta get you and Joe on the Twitch, man.
Yeah, hey, when are we doing it?
Yeah. Let's go.
We'll set it up right after this.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. I'm in on that. I appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you
Slade Heathcott, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you so much. Slade Heathcott. Slade Heathcott.
Slade Heathcott.
That was so dope.
Man, I hate being that guy in the stands. That ends up being the last one. Like, hey, shit. Fuck. I wish Ryan was here because he would have been the guy that probably did that. Man, what an awesome interview with Slade. So dope, man. Slade. It was just awesome. He gave us a lot of info. Like just stuff that he talked about through minor league career, through what he's doing. You can tell he's super passionate about everything.
The All-Star thing, what he said about watch the All-Star.
Yeah, he did that.
I want to see what's going to happen now.
I'm excited with that. So
his foundations, More Than Baseball, Players for the Planet, just amazing work. Attacking, the second phase of his life, just how he did the field. Amazing stuff from Slade.
Yes. Yeah, make sure you guys check him out. That's really what I want to get out of this is that people know about what he's doing. Morethanbaseball.org. Also, Players for the Planet. He spoke about cleaning up the beaches in DR. And just follow him, right? He's not a big social media guy, but that'll lead you to what he's doing. So if you're on Twitter, it's at Slade_Heathcott. And then Heathcott_Slade. And then if you're on Instagram, it's Slade.Heathcott. So let me do that again. If you're on Twitter, I already forgot it. No, if you're on Twitter, it's Heathcott_Slade, and we'll tag him in our post as well. And then if you're on Instagram, it's Slade.Heathcott. And just watch out for him. If you're a baseball fan and you like this episode, he's going to have a lot more going on this whole season.
His Twitch, too.
More than baseball gaming.
Yeah.
Go on Twitch, search More Than Baseball. It'll pop up.
And without the minor leaguers, there are no major leaguers.
There's no future without those guys.
Right? Exactly. So we got to love our minor leaguers. We got to hope that they're taken care of as well. Definitely. So definitely visit them for that. But thank you so much for hopping on.
Follow Joe.
You could follow me. Follow Pinstripe Strong, man. It's about the movement. Pinstripe Strong is the movement. Follow us. We're seriously serious. What?
Seriously not
serious.
Not serious.
Why so serious? All right, we're seriously not serious. Why? But we dead ass though, and we're excited about that. But guys, like I always say, man, Make sure you guys keep your pinstripes on. Stay pinstripe strong, okay? Stay strong. Baseball coming up this week. All that stuff. Follow us all over the socials. All right? Go ahead. Tell them, Noah.
New. Pinstripe Strong to the world.
Yeah.
The new world order.